Before playing World of Warcraft, I was mostly playing Morrowind, and also I would play PS2 games on my PS2 or Shenmue on my Dreamcast. I really like Shenmue. I had Shenmue on that. When I first made my mage on Stormscale Alliance US, my friend gave me 1 gold and said it would be enough to buy all my stuff and repair all my gear, and it was enough. Back then it was enough gold. My second character, which was I got to level 60 as well, was a paladin. I made a paladin because I saw my friend was a paladin, and I saw retribution could do really good damage on multiple targets. I didn't get very geared in World of Warcraft on my first level 60. I got, I think, about 3 pieces of tier 1, maybe Arcanist leggings, Arcanist wrist, and Arcanist belt. And also I got a couple items from ZG. And I think one thing from AQ20, like the Spellweaver's turban, but I wasn't very geared or anything like that. On my Paladin though, by the time I got to level 60, there was only 2 weeks until Burning Crusade came out. So as for the Paladin, I didn't get to do much on it after I hit level 60 because the expansion was coming out in 2 weeks. So basically, once I hit 60, I had to reset everything and re-level to 70 all again. I remember while I was on Stormscale, I always looked up to this guild called Reign of Darkness. I really wanted to join them, but there was no way I was going to join them because I wasn't geared enough. Their main tank was Pigger, and he had Thunder Fury and the best gear in the game. And they also had a rogue in the guild called Sahaya, and he got Scarab Lord. Scarab Lord was so cool back then. I remember as for the PvP grind in vanilla, I got rank 6 on my mage, which was Knight, and I transferred to Illidan, and that's when I noticed the people there were really geared. Like, you had this guild called Saga on Illidan on Alliance side, which had people in full tier 3. There was this mage Seed, and he had the Atesh, and I'm pretty sure he had a mage alt, and he even got Atesh on that as well. It was crazy. I used to watch a lot of PvP videos back in the day, like Orim Retribution Paladin, Warsong Sexiest Paladin was called. It was pretty good. And also Mady. If you watch Mady, Mady was a warrior who got rank 14, and he was really good. And also Pat. Pat had this song that was Breaking Me Down by Sir that was really good. Like, it fitted the video so good. And I was always obsessed with that weapon, Thunder Fury. It was just the coolest weapon I've ever seen. I made a couple friends in WoW, and we would all get on these other rogues that we played, and we would go ganking in Stranglethorn Vale on Alliance characters, and it was really fun, and we could always kill the Lobies and gank them, and it was just a really good time. This was in Classic, and ever since then it hasn't been as good for the world PvP. There's not much ganking anymore. It just doesn't exist these days. Me and my dad would have arguments about me playing World of Warcraft and how it was affecting my studies, because I wouldn't study much because I would just play World of Warcraft, and whenever I was at school, I was always looking forward to coming home just to get on the computer and play WoW. And it didn't help that I had a few other friends in high school who also played WoW, and we would actually play together. The arguments with my dad about World of Warcraft and my addiction to it got so bad that my dad actually took away the computer and took it to his partner's house, who was not my mom, obviously, and just took it to her house and left it there for about 2 weeks. So I couldn't play WoW for 2 weeks, and I was really mad at him about that. And then it got so bad that once we brought the computer back, he put a lock on our computer room so that I had to ask him just to play WoW, because my addiction was out of control by that point. Like, I didn't want to do any assignments or anything. I just played WoW, and that's all I cared about. My dad used to say, if you put half as much effort into your studies as you did WoW, you would be pretty good at your studies. You'd be passing everything, doing well, getting A's and all that crap. When they re-released Vanilla WoW as for classic WoW servers, and they made a retail version of them again, I made a 60 rogue. I got to 60 on my rogue. Did Molten Core. Got 5 pieces of tier 1 Petition's Blade, because I was one of the top DPS at the time in my guild, Pantheon, on New Jamba. So they gave me Petition's Blade and 5 pieces of tier 1. But then one of the officers ninja'd the guild character. He had control of like everything, and he wasn't even the leader of the guild. So he took all the guild mats and stole them and ninja'd them. And he left the guild, basically, and it ruined the guild. The guild never recovered after this. I also played Season of Discovery when it came out. I got to, what was it, level 25. Got that weapon from that two-hand sword. What's it called? It was like that epic two-hand sword from BFD, and I had like all the best gear except like 1 belt. Yeah. These days I still play World of Warcraft, but I don't let it get out of control like I used to. I play a warrior these days on Oceanic servers, Frostmourne. I like to PvP. I try and PvP every season. I don't really care about Mythic Plus. It's kind of boring for me. I'm not really interested in that.